I am Xiamo. To the world, I am quiet, gentle, and serene. With a delicate face and calm eyes, I am seen as a soft, undisturbed girl who never strives for fame or favor. People admire my tranquility and my gentle temperament, yet few understand the truth hidden beneath my peaceful appearance. I have never been merely the quiet, fragile beauty others perceive. Behind my calm smile lies a heart tempered by hardship, endurance, and silent perseverance. My life has never been a sheltered fairy tale. My childhood was filled with drifting days, uncertainty, and the cautious unease of living under another's roof. I learned early that warmth in this world is thin, that human hearts are fickle, and that fate is as fragile as foam rising on midsummer seawater. Bright, crystal, and dazzling for a moment, yet vanishing without a trace at the slightest touch. Having lost my biological parents at a young age, I was raised by adoptive parents and grew up overly sensible and restrained. I dared not be willful, dared not cry for attention, dared not crave excessive affection. In those unstable years, my only obsession, my only weakness, and also my strongest armor was my younger brother Yin Chung. He was the sole light in my gloomy childhood, the entire reason I endured every hardship and persisted through every difficult day. From an early age, I told myself repeatedly that I could not be weak, could not collapse. No matter how cruel fate became, I would endure silently and protect his peace with all my strength. Having witnessed the coldness of human nature so early, I grew distant and reserved. I learned to hide all my emotions deep inside, to remain expressionless, and to wrap my fragility in a cold and indifferent shell. I rarely experienced extreme joy or sorrow, never easily revealing my true self to outsiders. People mistook my restraint for apathy, my calmness for indifference. Yet, only I knew I simply dared not trust easily, dared not rely casually. Once I gave my heart, I devoted it entirely and unreservedly. In my youth, I encountered two deeply rooted, entangled destinies that shaped my entire life. One was Luoxi, passionate, obsessive, and my kindred spirit. The other was Wu Chen, domineering, devoted, and profoundly sincere. They were the two most intense marks of my youth. One resembled fleeting fireworks, brilliant, burning yet fragile. The other resembled the silent deep sea, steady, all-embracing, and everlasting. Luoxi and I were the same. We both grew up in loneliness, abandoned and neglected, struggling through years without warmth or care. We understood each other's inner unease, each other's masks, each other's desolation and inferiority hidden behind gentle smiles. When we met in youth, we warmed each other's solitude and became each other's temporary salvation in a cold world. He was passionate, sensitive, and broken yet tender, desperate to be loved, to be firmly chosen, to possess exclusive affection. The days with him were as blazing and unrestrained as the strongest midsummer night breeze, burning hot and unforgettable. Yet kindred spirits are often too alike. We both lacked love, suffered from insecurity, and carried scars left by our lonely childhoods. He needed my absolute devotion, constant proof of love, and endless comfort for his inner anxiety. But I had long been tempered by life into calm restraint. My life was always governed by priorities and responsibilities. I could treat him gently and love him sincerely, yet I could not abandon everything for impulsive passion. I could not afford to live recklessly for love alone. Our love was gorgeous, yet fragile, romantic, yet tormenting, like summer foam, beautiful and translucent, yet unable to withstand wind and rain or the weight of reality. We healed each other and exhausted each other. We drew close and grew apart, trapped in misunderstandings, hesitation, and worldly pressure. Step by step, we drifted apart, bidding farewell to the pure, blazing heartbeat of our youth. Wu Chen was entirely different. Born outstanding, noble and powerful, he stood high above the crowd, holding power, status, and authority. When we first met in youth, he was cold, domineering, and controlling, accustomed to mastering everything in his grasp. Back then, our identities and worlds were vastly different. I lived cautiously in reliance on others, while he lived freely at the top. Our youthful affection was pure yet reckless. He gave me extreme preference and protection, yet also brought invisible pressure and restraint. In my youthful ignorance, I failed to understand that beneath his overbearing manner lay clumsy, wholehearted devotion and sincere love. Fate drifted repeatedly, Time pulled us apart and brought us back together again and again. Youthful grievances, regrets, wounds, and entanglements settled slowly through the years, smoothing our recklessness and sharpness, leaving only the truest, deepest feelings. I stepped into the entertainment industry, standing under brilliant spotlights as a public artist. Behind the glamorous stage lay countless silent, persevering nights. I witnessed the vanity, hypocrisy, and calculation of the industry, enduring endless misunderstanding, slander, and malicious prejudice. I never relied on gossip or shortcuts, standing firmly step by step through my own efforts and resilience. The world saw my radiance, yet no one knew every step of my growth was paved with unseen scars and silent endurance. Through all these years, I remained sober and clear-minded. Responsibility and gratitude have always ruled my life, and family affection has always been my top priority. Yin Cheng's health and peace have always been my bottom line. To protect him, I could compromise, yield, endure grievances, hide my true feelings, and lay down all my pride. The world judged me cold and fickle, claiming I hesitated in love, yet no one understood my every hesitation. Restraint and choice stemmed from deepest responsibility and tenderness. I loved Luoxi truly and wholeheartedly. That youthful heartbeat was real and blazing, the brightest color in my desolate adolescence. But we were too broken, too insecure, and too similar to walk through life side by side. We could soothe each other's youthful loneliness, yet we could not withstand the storms of a long lifetime together. Wu Chen accompanied me through worldly ups and downs, witnessing all my embarrassment, vulnerability, and perseverance. He saw my coldest, most indifferent moments, my softest, gentlest sides, and my strongest, most scarred moments. Yet he always chose me firmly, favored me exclusively, and guarded me unwaveringly. He outgrew his youthful arbitrariness and paranoia, learning tenderness, tolerance, patience, and respect. His love was never momentary passion, but steady, lifelong companionship and unshakable devotion. He sees the exhaustion beneath my strength, the tenderness beneath my indifference, and the helplessness beneath my restraint. He accepts all my past scars, all my struggles, and all my choices. He tolerates my hesitation, cherishes my sincerity, guards my weaknesses, and fulfills my life. All my life, I have watched countless fleeting destinies, like foam floating on summer seawater, beautiful, illusory, and temporary. I once believed all beauty would fade, all tenderness would end, and all heartbeats would vanish into emptiness. I once sealed my heart, afraid of deep love, afraid of expectation, afraid of devotion, desiring only simple peace and family safety. Yet time is ultimately gentle, and fate eventually bestows blessings. After experiencing countless storms, worldly warmth and coldness, love and separation, I finally understand that true love is not momentary passion or temporary salvation. It is long-term tolerance, firm companionship, silent preference, and unwavering loyalty. Luoxi was the brilliant fireworks of my youth, stunning my midsummer, warming my solitude, yet eventually returning to the crowd, becoming a gentle regret hidden in my heart. Wu Chen, however, is the steady starlight remaining for my future. Crossing all storms, misunderstandings, and lost time, he walks firmly toward me, tenderly warming every year of my remaining life. I am no longer that helpless, cautious girl enduring alone in my youth. Time has smoothed my youthful fragility and granted me calmness and clarity. I remain gentle and kind, sincere and pure, yet no longer lost, humble, or controlled by fate. I have learned to choose and to cherish, understanding that ordinary peace is the most precious happiness in life. Prosperity and fame are illusory. Love and hatred are merely past memories. Stripping away stage glamour and youthful turmoil, all I seek is family health, stable days, a loving companion, and peaceful remaining years. All mortal love is like summer foam, grand yet fragile, glorious yet transient. Yet there are those who cross crowds and time, giving everything to guard your peace and grace your years with endless tenderness. I am Yin Xiamo. Having survived desolate years and weathered the ups and downs of love and fate, I finally let go of all illusory, foam-like youthful infatuations and grasped a steady, peaceful, and lasting future. I have often pondered the meaning of the foam that defines my youth, bright, fleeting, and seemingly empty, yet holding within its brief existence all the passion, confusion, and growth that shaped who I am today. Once I resented the fragility of those youthful feelings, resented how easily beautiful moments shattered, resented the fate that forced me to mature too fast, to compromise too often, and to carry too many burdens alone. But as I stand calmly in the gentle peace of my present life, I no longer view those fleeting years as regretful. Every broken foam, every faded heartbeat, every painful separation was a necessary lesson that taught me to distinguish impulsive infatuation from lifelong devotion, temporary warmth from eternal companionship. Youth is inherently reckless and imperfect. We crave blazing love, desperate connection, and exclusive possession, mistaking restlessness for sincerity and obsession for devotion. With Luoxi, I once clung tightly to that youthful frenzy, fearing loneliness, craving understanding, and trying to fill each other's hollow hearts with fragile affection. We were two broken souls leaning on each other to survive the cold world, yet our bond was built on vulnerability rather than solid growth. It could resist loneliness for a while, but never withstand the test of time, reality, and trivial life. That is why our splendid encounter eventually drifted apart, leaving only a soft and clear memory, no longer painful, no longer lingering, just a gentle mark of youth that I carry peacefully. If Luoxi taught me the recklessness and fragility of youthful love, then Ochen taught me the depth and persistence of true love. He never loved me in the noisy, dazzling way of youth, but in the quiet, enduring way of time. He watched me walk through darkness alone, tolerated all my restraint and hesitation, waited patiently for me to walk out of the shadow of the past, and never once forced me to compromise. Never once blamed me for my overcautious heart rooted in years of hardship. He knows I have always placed family above everything, that my tenderness is wrapped in rationality, and my persistence is hidden in silence. He respects my love for Yincheng, understands my lifelong responsibility as an elder sister, and never regards my family devotion as a barrier to our love. Instead, he chooses to stand firmly beside me, sharing my burdens, comforting my worries, and guarding my most precious family alongside me. He does not ask me to abandon my principles for love, nor does he ask me to be willful and reckless for affection. He loves my kindness, my sense of responsibility, my stubborn tenderness, and the quiet strength that allows me to rise again after every fall. As I gradually bid farewell to the bustling entertainment circle, I began to understand the true meaning of life. The spotlight's radiance is dazzling but illusory. Audience applause is warm but fleeting. Fame and fortune are glorious but empty. They can bring momentary admiration and vanity, but they cannot fill the emptiness of the heart, nor can they soothe the scars left by years of displacement and unease. True happiness never lies in being watched and admired by thousands, but in having a stable home, safe relatives, and a loyal lover who never leaves. I used to chase perfection in my career, endure countless grievances and misunderstandings in silence, force myself to adapt to the complicated rules of the adult world, and disguise my fragility with gentle calmness. I feared being looked down upon, feared being eliminated, feared that my efforts would be in vain, and struggled tirelessly in the noisy mortal world. But Uchen let me know that I no longer need to force myself to be invulnerable. I can be weak occasionally, can put down my disguise, can vent my accumulated tiredness, and can be an ordinary girl who is loved and cherished without any scruples. Life gradually settles into trivial and warm days. We no longer have the intense entanglement and uneasy suspicion of youth, only the quiet companionship of ordinary time. We walk slowly through the streets in the warm sunset, listen to the rustle of the wind, talk about trivial daily trivialities, and cherish every plain and precious moment. We accompany each other through ordinary mornings and quiet nights, share 3 meals and 4 seasons, and turn the grand and turbulent love of the past into the most down-to-earth warmth of life. I have long forgiven all the hardships fate once gave me, forgiven the displacement of childhood, forgiven the misunderstandings of youth, forgiven the fleeting love that once disturbed my heart. Without those stumbling and painful experiences, I would not have learned to cherish the hard-won peace, would not have understood how precious consistent companionship is, and would not have grown into the calm, gentle, and powerful self I am today. Foam is not a waste, after all. It blooms brilliantly in the midsummer wind, illuminates the ignorant youth, and then fades quietly, leaving behind the most precious growth and perception. All the illusory prosperity and fleeting throbs have faded with the years, leaving only the most real and stable happiness in the world. I no longer yearn for vigorous and earth-shattering love, nor do I lament the impermanence of the world. I have my peaceful life, my healthy relatives, and my lifelong companion who stays with me through wind and rain. Time is gentle, years are stable, all the past sufferings have turned into sweet harvests, and all the fleeting foam has settled into endless tenderness. This world is full of fleeting encounters and illusory prosperity. Countless loves bloom like summer foam and wither in an instant. But I am extremely fortunate. After passing through the bustling mortal world and experiencing the ups and downs of love, I have finally crossed all vanity and illusion, held the most lasting and sincere love in my hands, and guarded the most stable happiness in life. From youthful ignorance to mature calm, from lonely persistence to mutual companionship, from floating foam to settled warmth, this is the best gift fate has given me in return for all my years of forbearance and persistence.